This podcast is sponsored by Intentional Living magazine, your ultimate guide created to help infuse purpose and passion into your everyday life. From expert features that provide valuable insights to thought-provoking content that sparks transformation, this magazine, an online platform, is a perfect source of inspiration for all of those of us who truly believe in the power of intentional choices.
So in this episode, we're going to be talking about Christmas.
Yeah, we're talking about the happy moments of Christmas and also the realistic moments of Christmas.
The challenges and the workarounds and the crap presents.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what the crap present is. You've got to listen to the episode.
No, yeah.
But Jules has got the prize of receiving the crappest present
Maybe that
ever.
Oh, we'd love to hear from you if you've got a really worst present. So once you've listened to this, if you've had a worse present than that, please message us because we'll share it.
And we'll mention it on the next one.
Have a great listen.
Merry Christmas. Can we just talk about Christmas? Christmas episode.
We can. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Well, I'm saying good morning because this is at the time that we record. But it's any time for our listeners.
Well, it's good morning from me.
And it's good morning from me.
I love that.
It's the Christmas edition. We've decided to talk about Christmas because there's been years in my life where I've absolutely loved, I've always loved Christmas, but then there's the pressure that Christmas shopping and Christmas gift buying can bring. So we decided to just talk about the reality of Christmas and what we love about Christmas and what we absolutely hate.
I don't like the word hate.
I know, okay, what we really don't like.
We really don't like. Yeah, and it's because we are in the run-up to Christmas now. And we on the way in this morning, we're thinking, God, what needs to be done? And you're seeing people running around and you can hear people stressing about spending money, about, I can't do that because I've got Christmas coming up. And it's almost like, it's like this big event, which is a day, really, in the reality.
It's all
it's
for
a
the
day,
isn't it? The
and
morning.
It just seems to have grown out of proportion. But I get it. But my kids are older now, so I get when they were younger, it was almost like, it's magical, isn't it, with the kids? It is absolutely magical and you love it and you want to see their faces light up. But again, how far do we need to go with it?
Yeah.
And for all of you that are out there working your absolute clogs off to do all of the things and create perfection
For that day.
for the family, so that everything is perfect. How, once you get to Christmas, from personal experience, and we were saying this, can you remember like early Christmases? It would almost be like, stop the blooming clock. It's like Challenge Annika, press the button, stop now. And literally once you've done dinner, that's when you stop for a few hours and you're that buggered.
After the big roast dinner that you've cooked that could have fed 10,000 people and you're lying on the couch like,
yeah. And it's just a roast dinner with crackers, isn't it?
Yeah.
When all's said and done, it's a roast dinner with crackers.
Well, this is the conversation that we were having off air and even talking to the guys in the studio. So we were like, let's talk about Christmas, about what we love and what we don't love. And I think it'll be quite nostalgic for us and for other people listening to talk about Christmas as a kid, Christmas as a teen, and then Christmas as, as you get older and as you become a parent, if you chose to have kids. But what I've just looked at, because I know now because of the economic crisis, there's a lot more people and businesses talking about sustainability and about us, because I know I've done it, where we buy the presents and on Christmas Eve, we still feel like we haven't got enough for everyone that we love. So we go out and we buy the tat and we'll spend like another 15 quid on maybe chocolates and wine to just make the gift bag a little bit more full, or more socks, or just something that the person that we're buying it for probably doesn't need because they've got some left from last Christmas type of thing.
Well, they just didn't need it in the first place.
And how much of it then goes thrown in the bin, or, you know, because it's more, I know I recycle a lot of stuff. I know you recycle a lot of stuff because you recycle your stuff and give it to me. And she's always coming to mine with little gifts and things like that. And it's great because you're in that mindset of you wouldn't just throw it out. But some people wouldn't even think about, well, if I throw this out, where is this going? Is this going to landfill? Is this going to someone? And it's getting in that mindset of, did I really need to buy this anyway? And, you know, when you buy your Christmas food and you end up throwing out loads of food that's gone out of date. I know you always used to buy loads of cream. Is it not evaporated cream? Double cream, single cream, because my mum and dad love it with the desserts and the Christmas pudding at Christmas. And I end up throwing about 3 cartons of it out at Christmas because no one else has it. And I'm like, why did I have to buy 3? Why didn't I just buy 1? Because I know it's only my mum and dad.
You just go a bit bonkers, don't you? When you think, and again, this is about, for me now, it's about being really intentional. Yeah. With the buying, intentional with what we're doing. Like we were talking about dinner, right? Dinner is a roast dinner. No one that I know likes turkey. Really? No one. It's almost like really,
you have to cook it well.
And see, But I'm like, they're going.
And the effort.
To be honest, I'd be all right with just the veg.
Yeah, same.
And roast veg is roast veg, right? And the crackers. And you know what? Great. If you are one of those people that goes out, have a lovely set table and all the rest of it. But you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on stuff that is literally going to get screwed up and put in the bin. And crackers, people spend hundreds of pounds on crackers. What happens with the presents in the cracker? They never get used. They're still sat there on the side. Again, more tat.
More waste.
More tat. And things like, I'll get some stocking fillers. I'll go down the aisle in B&M and buy some stuff. Like bath bombs full of chemicals that are going to do no good to anybody. No good to the water system when they're flushed away. No good to the skin that they're being soaked into. No good to the hormone system. No good to anyone. Yeah. But it's filled a space.
And again, it's filled a space in the bag. And again, it goes back to, because we have been so conditioned, and it is like a retailer's dream, isn't it, to sell us stuff because they make a lot of money. I've just been.
Go on,
let me just tell you the figures. For this year, the Christmas economy is to drop by 13 billion, with half of UK adults reducing their spending this year. Right. This is according to Retail Times. Christmas 2023 is set to be one of the most frugal ever, with nearly half of UK adults planning to cut their overall spend, and that was published in October this year. But I get it, because now we are more educated, because we are starting to intentionally go, well, actually, I'm not just going to buy the extra wine and chocolates for me mum to bump up the gift, or for the school teachers, because they don't need it. It's a nice gesture. And you know what? I'm not saying not to give, but don't feel that pressure to give. And especially when you haven't got that money to give. And then when you give, the person that you're giving to then might feel obliged to give back. Yeah. And they might have that option of, oh God, I've got to pay for the kids' school dinners this week, or I've got to buy a scarf or a necklace or something back because you've given me a gift. And I was listening to Morton Lewis.
Yeah.
He has a video every Christmas from 2019, I think, that he plays and reminds people of what he said back then, to say it's really, really lovely. The gift of giving someone a gift is beautiful. But the way it's gone now is that whole thing of, well, people who receive the gift then feel that they have to reciprocate it. And that shouldn't be the way. So the people who are given the gifts, are they selfish? But the gift of giving comes from many years ago. And he talks about when there was a young couple and they were getting married, the richer, older, wealthier people would buy them a gift to help them start off in life. Yeah. And then as they grew up in life and they had children, and then they, were more wealthy because of the secure jobs and the upbringing that they've created for themselves, then they would give gifts to the next younger generation. And that's how it works. It was never to give a gift and receive. And again, I know that we give gifts and we don't give to receive.
Completely.
Absolutely not. But that video of Martin Lewis still made me think that I do buy gifts for some people, some of my friends, because I love them and I want to get them a gift. But then they'll give me something back. And if they're struggling, I don't want them to feel that. So that's really given me an insight into that, and to think, well, what else could we do? And we've just been talking to Calvin in the podcast studios there now, and he's got family who live away, and it's like, well, rather than sending them like an Amazon gift voucher or online or something that they can open on the day, maybe go and see them, go and visit them, or give them a call instead, or have lunch with them later on in the year and pay for that. It doesn't have to be this all for this one day. Yeah. So, and again, this is something for both of us, that we've been the people, we've been those women who have been working all of the hours in the corporate role, even up to COVID. Yeah. It was always about, Christmas, the kids have got to have they've got to have what they want. If we could obviously afford it, but you'd get yourself into debt to give them what they wanted. And going back to looking at me when I was a child growing up, I absolutely love Christmas, and my mum and dad made Christmas really magical, and my nan and granddad and the whole family did. It was gorgeous, and it was never a stressful time back then. You go back, I'm 47 now, so you go back 40 years. It wasn't stressful then, and there was no social media. There was the odd Christmas adverts. There was 4 channels.
It wasn't stressful for you. Might have still been stressful for them.
It's stressful for my mum and dad, but my mum worked in John Lewis, George Henry Lee, so she'd buy all of her presents over the months with discounts, so she was quite organised. But my dad did work extra hours. He would go to work on like a Saturday and he'd be working in the cold. But that was probably about it. And then we were off for like Christmas time, apart from my mum. And the Christmas dinner was a beautiful Christmas dinner, but not really fussy, but just nice. Mm-hmm. But I would, again, back then, my mum would still throw food out and we'd still go, oh, Mum, what did you buy me that for? So there was still that overbuying. And now it's just gone even more crazy. So, because we were talking about getting the matching jammies.
Yeah, it's about, you just see all that pressure online, don't you?
Getting blue, it's like balloons and balloon arches, and I love the fact that you can get someone in to decorate your Christmas tree. That's amazing, because if you are busy and you want to pay someone to do that and they can put their creativity on that tree, then they can do it. But if you can afford it.
Oh no, it's part of our Christmas tradition that we put the tree up.
Yeah, together.
There's Christmas music, the tree goes up, and since we've got a tree that's pre-lit, there's no arguing about untangling lights. Seriously. And we inherited that tree from Mum and Dad because it was too big from them. Thank you, Recycleville. Because we used to spend hours just trying to untangle lights.
Yeah.
But it just seems, maybe it's because my kids are older now, but it just seems less frantic. I think that's the word. Yeah.
In your household?
Just generally. And I think because we decided as a family, as an extended family, that we were going to stop buying for adults.
Yeah. Because
Christmas really is about the kids and it's about family and about togetherness rather than the commercial side of things. So rather, like you say, rather than buying stuff and rather than having to buy because we're meant to, we literally just buy for the kids. And then the time that we have together is the celebration.
Yeah.
And we have food and we share food and we have a nice time and we have the time off together.
Yeah.
But before, when the kids were little, it was like the piles. When I think back, the piles of presents were obscene.
And the pressure of, if you've got more than one kid, it's like, their pile looks more than theirs. I'm going to have to buy more shit to make the pile look even.
Yeah.
And so
how ridiculous.
So it looked more visually, even though, and you'd spent the same amount of money roughly on them, but it like, theirs looks like there's nothing, so you will buy more crap.
Yeah. I think what some people do.
And the kids are not bothered, are they?
No,
because
they
they end up
don't
playing in the boxes and just playing on one thing anyway.
And we've got videos, like in the old days before mobile phones, you had like the camera. And I saw watching Alf opening his presents and then go, what have you got, Alf? He went, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. Thinking, because he's on to the next
one.
Ripping
the presents.
Like, okay, that was worthwhile then. Smashing. But like going back to my childhood, Christmas. So my mum's German, as you know. So Christmas for us was Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And it all happens very differently in Germany. And then we changed when we got older and said, can't we do it like our friends do it? So it was Christmas Eve evening. We'd sit around and the presents would be gifted around the tree. So it'd be like, here's one for you, here's one for you, here's one for you. And it was, and from memory, like literally, the one of the best things we have something called a Weihnachtsteller, and it's a plate, and it's got satsumas in it, nuts in it, chocolates in it, all of the things, and that would last us weeks. But when that appeared on Christmas Eve, you think, right, this is Christmas now. You could smell it.
Yeah.
Like, you can smell pine, you can smell the satsumas, you can smell all of that, and that was Christmas. And then from memory, we literally, I think, just got a main present.
Yeah.
I can't think of a time where we were there. I mean, obviously we had little bits, but I can't think of a time when we had like piles and piles of stuff. And then when we got into teens, it was like CDs and, well, it wasn't CDs for us, to be honest, it was vinyl.
Tapes. Oh, vinyl.
Vinyl, yeah.
And record.
Yeah,
tape.
Ghetto blasters.
Blank tape where you could record
tape,
the radio.
Like that you can do press, and you can record the top 20. And then obviously when we do your own thing, it's all about partying then, isn't it? When you get into your early 20s, it's about partying.
Oh, I think I was partying from about 15. I was out on Christmas nights out, and Christmas Day. I probably started drinking when I was about 17 on Christmas Day, and then it went into Christmas Eve, and then I'd be hungover then.
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Last year actually was the first time in 23 years that me and Mark went out. And it was awful.
It's horrible having a hangover Christmas. You had a good time.
Great time, but felt mouldy as on Christmas Day. Yeah. I was like, oh my, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, there's so many people. I'd love to know who's listening to this who goes out or gets absolutely bladdered on Christmas Eve and then ends up feeling awful the next day. Because that was my pattern.
Calvin's putting his hand up.
Because it was because I was so excited, because me and all my friends would always go out. Me, Lynn, Angela, Nicola, my school friends would be, because we'd lived through Christmas as we were kids, and we just grew up as teens and then going into our 20s, and Christmas Eve was our night out. And then you would be so done in on, and then I'd be going to my mum's Christmas Day like that. And Joanne would be there, and then Mark and Tom came into the equation, so they'd be there, and then we'd all be going out on Christmas Eve, and we'd be hungover. And then I stopped, obviously, when the kids came at the age of 32. And I still had that thing to drink on Christmas Eve, because I was still dead excited, because I was excited for the kids. So the drink, I don't know, the connection with being excited on Christmas Eve and alcohol just was as if that was what you do, a conditioning thing
it's
again.
Conditioning for sure, yeah.
And so now on Christmas Eve, where was I? Where were we last? You were out you were living your 20s last year.
No, in my early 20s, I used to work Christmas Day. It's because I worked at the airport. So you had to use to work Christmas or New Year, and I used to prefer New Year off. So I used to work Christmas.
Yeah.
So Christmas Eve probably is
pretty boring. That's pretty boring.
Well, it was just life, wasn't it? So that we could go out at New Year, but Christmas, people travelling on Christmas Day don't get that. Yeah. But hey ho. So yeah, that part. But this year, and Christmas Eve when the kids were little, it'd be like, oh, let's just have a Baileys while we spend 4 hours building a doll's house. Like, why doesn't Santa bring the doll's house ready, prepared, or kitchens? I remember that. And I remember Gracie gave her dummies to Santa to give to the babies.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal. Like, literally, she gathered all of the dummies up. And then, obviously, I was drinking Baileys. And then, what did I do? I put them all back in the stocking. And she went, Santa's given me them back! What a tit.
And you forgot.
Like, literally, yeah.
And then, how did you get the dummies off of them?
I have no idea, can't remember. But literally, I just think, please, there's the thing, do not drink on Christmas Eve while you're wrapping presents. Like, yeah, Santa, just give me all my dummies back.
Oh,
like
bless
that. Santa's give me my dummies back.
I did that with our Danny, and it was the tooth fairy was coming. She'd lost a first tooth or something, and I said, right, in exchange, the tooth fairy will take the tooth and she will take your dummies. So we put them in like a little gift bag and put them on the door handle, and I nearly forgot to take them,
but you didn't.
But I didn't. I took them, and she was like, okay, and it was like a clean thing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't drinking Baileys the night before, so that's probably why.
You're very good. You're very good. So this Christmas dinner is a roast dinner.
Yeah.
Lovely. Set the table nice. Lovely. You don't have to spend fortunes on crackers and all of the things. You don't need to do it.
Yeah. It's just again, it's a glorified roast dinner, and I think it's nice to put a bit more time and effort and energy into it, but you don't have to throw loads of money at it, do you? Like again, the crackers and the fancy stuff, unless you want to.
You want to.
But it's about, don't get yourself in debt for buying gifts for people that will probably get thrown away or recycled, I would hopefully.
On Christmas Day, once you've tidied away all of the debris, do you have piles in your living room where people have put their piles of stuff?
Yeah.
And do you have those piles there until the tree comes down? And then what happens to those piles?
Just get lashed in the bedroom, or
and then,
some of it goes in the bin.
Yeah. And a lot of the time it stays there until it gets thrown away. Again, so be really intentional about what you're buying, and actually don't buy someone something just to do it. Like you just said,
just for the sake
what
of
would
it.
they need or use or benefit from, rather than stuff. Yeah. I bought Mark every year to wind him up. So it was a really useful present, an ice scraper for his car. He hated it. And I thought it was a great one.
Is that a manifest and generator thing? I don't know. About being practical with your presents.
Because
my Mark's bought me a Hoover for the car at Christmas.
Oh, you see, he'd have been
He's
wearing
brought
that
me a printer. He all like dead practical stuff. But you know what he said? It was because I know that it gets you stressed. So I'm buying you these things so that you've got them, so it doesn't stress you out.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, he'd be wearing them for me. Literally.
And this year he's actually buying me I have asked for something that I need, and it is the Dyson hair wrap to do my hair.
You don't need that.
I do.
You don't need it.
I do.
I swear to God, you don't.
I do.
You don't. I've had one.
Oh, have you? Ellie's got one.
You can get a cheaper version. It's like 30 quid instead of 400. It's the same thing.
Is it?
Same thing without the
label.
label.
I just thought the quality
Claire,
might not
Claire,
work.
Stop buying into the hype with the label.
No,
Stop
it's the
it.
quality. It's not the label, it's the quality. So if I can try the cheap one and the Dyson and it does the same thing, I need to experience it.
Yeah, that's your 3 energy.
It is.
But you could trust me with my 1 energy that I've done the research.
Okay. Well, I'll have a little look at that because he's not bought it yet.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but it's an investment. For me, it's an investment because I can't do my hair. I'm shit
Well,
at
you're
hair.
looking pretty fabulous today, love.
That's
actually.
me cheap crimpers.
So tell me about Christmas. Right, so when you were working like a dervish and you were running
What's a
around
dervish?
like a busy person. I don't know what a
Okay.
dervish is. Write in if you know what a dervish is.
I love it. When I was a dervish.
When you were a
I was busy
dervish, when we were
running
busy working, I just feel like we did all of that stuff, like literally just pulling stuff in quick for speed, and that's when we started buying extra stuff just in case stuff and all of that.
I would actually have the list, as you know, I love my list. So I'd intentionally say, well, what do the kids want? What do the kids need? Or what does mum and dad want? What did the people want? And then I'd get them what they wanted. And then it was like, I need to give them something else.
Yeah.
There was something else driving. Oh, that's not enough. I need to give them something else because I think my mum will get more for me, so then I feel bad, so I'll pop more in her bag. And then that was where it just gets silly. So
I like what some families do, which is the Secret Santa.
Yeah.
But it's not as an extra, it's an instead of. So they decide on a value, so a decent present,
That's
let's say
what we've
75
done,
quid or £100, say, or 50, whatever it is, and you pull a name out the hat and you buy the one present, and that present comes off the whole family.
Yeah.
And that's the present.
Yeah.
I think that's quite a nice idea.
It is. We're doing that this year, actually, with like my mum and dad and the rest of our Julie and stuff. Because our Julie, she's got no kids and she buys so much for everyone. And we buy for her. Normally we give her a lot, but she's like, I don't need it. So we did the Secret Santa on Saturday. And I've got someone I can't say.
Oh, you can't tell them.
Can't tell you.
And I think the other thing around Christmas as well is that some people don't like it. some people it's a really lonely time for.
Yeah.
And I think we have to be mindful of that as well. And
then that goes into the inclusive piece for me. Again, if you do know someone who's lonely, then ask. They might not want to see you Christmas Day, or you could include them for the Christmas dinner, or you could just go for a coffee with them. It doesn't have to be Christmas Day. This is the point I want to make before, is that we spend our time, if we're going back to us, to our experience, being busy. You're doing your job as a mother, you're doing your job as a career woman, you are looking after the family, then you're worried about Christmas and what that's going to look like in the Christmas dinner. You're completely burnt out, not even really thinking about it anymore. You're just on the autopilot, on the treadmill again. And I've lost my train of thought now. What were we talking about? Honest to God. You don't need to cut this, by the way. I was going to make a really good point then.
Oh, yeah. It'll come back.
So it takes us away. There we go. We're back, Harry. So it takes us away from the present moment. So you're constantly thinking about Christmas Day, and then you could be walking past loads of people that really need your help at that time, and not focusing on them because you're thinking about, I just want Christmas Day to be so perfect for the family, that something could be going on with your kids on the 1st of December, but you're too busy worrying about what you're getting them for Christmas, and they want to speak to you, or you're not recognising that they need you in that moment. Yeah. That's what they need. They don't need the presents and the faff at Christmas. They need you there now, or a friend might need you there now, and we need ourselves there right now, but we're living in the future for this thing. And it takes us away from the present moment. It just makes no sense.
When you get presents, going back to that, when you get presents, do you find joy in a present more if someone's thought about it and maybe made it for you, or, thoughtful? It could be something that's really inexpensive, but it's really thoughtful.
Yeah.
And that, for me, so with the kids, I'll say, if they'll say, what do you want for Christmas, Mum? I literally don't want anything. I am happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy on Christmas Day just to be present in the moment and have peace, space, freedom to just be. That's genuine. Like when people say, what can I get you for Christmas? I say, please don't get me anything. And that doesn't mean, you can get me loads. That means, please don't get me anything. I really don't need anything. And they'll say, but what can I get you, Mum? What can I get you? And I go, do you know what? My love language is acts of service.
Same.
Yeah.
Mine
so
is,
for me, just go and make me a lovely cup of tea.
Yeah. Just do some ironing.
No, we don't. We don't iron. We don't iron.
But that appreciation, if the kids make me a cup of tea, I am over the moon. It's nice to be thought of in that way. Like, oh, Mum's a little bit tired, I'll make you a cup of tea. I know what you mean. It's lovely, isn't it?
And I showed them how to make some really inexpensive gifts. And I literally, because I'm an aromatherapist, not made a shoe ring for them. But I made chocolates last night.
I know.
And
we
literally,
didn't bring any in for us.
Because I ate them. Because chocolates, they're healthy chocolates. So use organic cacao butter, organic cacao powder, maple syrup and essential oils. That's it. It's dead easy. So we made orange and ginger. And again, you can make them. You just have moulds, make them up. It takes you about 10 minutes. Stick them in the freezer, pop them out fridge. Pop them out of the moulds, put them in a little cellophane bag. Or maybe not cellophane, because that's not sustainable. Maybe into a little bag with a ribbon on it. That's a beautiful present.
Absolutely. And the fact that you've made it.
Yeah.
Could start a little retail line there, but only for people not to a sustainable business.
Yeah, sustainable. And also, the other thing I did was bath salts. Like magnesium salts, and then put essential oils in, get a jar, put a nice bow on with a label, with love. And then you go, when you're going in your bath and you've got your lavender in there and you've got your bergamot and all that beautiful frankincense, and you think, oh, my girl made me that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
And that costs nothing.
It's the energy that's gone into it and the thought, isn't it? But Mark is really thoughtful at Christmas time, and he'll always the printer and the car hoover. But he does... when I open his presents, it's a surprise, and it is usually something that I need, and he's really thought about. And I know I've said to him, the only thing I need this year really is a Dyson hair wrap or a hair wrap, because it's just going to make my life easier, because he always buys the technical presents. But other than that, I don't need or want anything, and if I don't get one, I'm not bothered type of thing. But we're doing Secret Santa with my friends. And because we've known each other, we know each other so well, we'll know what to get each other, or we'll put a little list in the group to say what we want, and we'll go for that. And I won't buy them wine or chocolates anymore, because
that used to, and
the perfume thing anymore, because now I know what's in the wine, in the chocolates, in the most of the candles, that the scented candles, it's all chemicals. So I'll make sure, and I do say to them, whatever I buy you, it will be natural, and it will be helpful to you, because they are all in stressful jobs, and me giving them wine, chocolates and scented candles that blow out chemicals is just not
counterproductive.
It really is. But we don't know this, because I used to think that was what you do. Yeah. And you know what? We still all like a little glass of wine, and we like chocolates.
You can't have wine?
I know. But I have bought some.
She can't have wine because she's intolerant to it.
I'm intolerant to it, and it kills me. But I've just bought Think Wine, based in Liverpool. Nice. It's organic, vegan, and no added sugars. So I have ordered 2 bottles of theirs for over Christmas, so that I can see if I can try it and what it's going to be like.
Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. What was the worst present that you got last year? I'm only asking you because I'm going to share with you mine.
Oh, I know what yours is. That's hilarious. Do you know what?
Do you know what mine is?
Yeah. I know what you're going to say.
Oh my God.
It's hilarious.
Honest to God.
Do you know what mine? I haven't really had any bad presents, you know. No, I've not as bad as yours.
So my family have gone out, right, and thought, oh, she's going to love that. Are you ready for this?
I would have been fuming, to be honest.
I got bright blue Greg's tracksuit bottoms. Calvin's laughing.
Didn't you get Greg's?
Hang on. With matching pair of Crocs.
Greg's.
Calvin, I'm like, literally, I just sat there like that, and they went, what do you think? I went,
and you know what?
I was like that. I went, seriously, do you think? Oh, we thought it'd be fun. Well, yeah, well, great. Just put charity shop. Like, seriously, what a bloody waste of money that is.
Because they were not cheap. They're not cheap.
Why would anyone make Greg's?
Exactly. Loads
Crocs?
of people were wearing them though. That was like a fashion thing for 2 days.
I went to Primark last night. They've now got a Primark Christmas jumper and a Subway Christmas jumper. Why? Right, seriously.
Yeah.
Who is going to want to? It's just commercial crap.
I know.
But Greg's, seriously, Greg's.
They made loads of money on that, you know, absolutely tons.
The fact that my family thought I'd love it.
I know.
Stuff created by underpaid people.
Just the fact that, no offence to anyone who wears Crocs, but Crocs. My daughter Ellie loves them. She's got loads.
They're the rage now.
I'm sorry. It might be an old lady thing, but no.
My point is,
Greg's Crocs.
It was offensive. It was nasty, and it wasn't even funny.
It wasn't.
What a waste of money!
You text me on Christmas Day,
That's
and
not sustainable.
I would be fuming with that.
Did I text you?
You're better than that. You're so much more.
I'm sat there watching them all open the presents, going, "Yep, thoughts gone into that. Thoughts gone into that. Thought." And my sister, wait for that. She phoned me of the night, because Christmas night for us is perfect because Mark hates Christmas. So by the time it gets to like 8 o'clock, he's gone. Oh, I'm done in. Smashing off you trot. Mum and Dad will have gone home. And we all have to spread out now because of the size of the families. Gracie's probably going to go out with her mates, and I sit there with what would have been my cheese board, which I can't have anymore because I'm intolerant to dairy. Nice glass of red wine. Call the midwife, Christmas special. And just thinking about the day.
Yeah.
And how grateful I am for the Greg's outfit. And then my sister messages me.
Grateful for
Greg's.
Greg's.
In tears, like that. I'm like, how's your day? She went, all right. You know, all right. And I said, what did you get? She went, calligraphy pen. I was crying. I went, oh, okay. A bottle of non-alcoholic gin. I went, random. She went, yep. I said,
I remember you.
Do you not prefer real gin? She went, yep.
Did
and
they
the best
not know
bit,
what they
and her husband
bought
got her anti-wrinkle serum. And they'd all passed out on the floor, and she was sat there like going, and she sat there, they were all watching, and she got this Revitalift shite. And She said, I'm not doing it again, Jules, I'm not doing it again. I said, you should have come
calligraphy
here.
pen, and non-alcoholic
So you sat
gin.
there with your face serum on, writing calligraphy, Shakespeare shite, watching your family passed out on the floor through
with your
excess alcohol, with your father-in-law who's arrived for 3 days that doesn't really speak. God, please don't listen to this. And with her non-alcoholic gin.
And you're sitting there with your Greg's tracky bottoms and your Crocs.
And we're going, and you know when you're the one that brings Christmas together for both of us, for both households, and we're going,
I'm not doing this anymore.
We go like that. Namaste. Mother fudgers. Yeah.
So just any tips then for people, because I know we've just had a little bit of a mini rant about Christmas, and we do actually love Christmas. It's just changed for us over the years, hasn't it? So what tips would you give in terms of, from a professional perspective, about well-being and stress?
I would start creating traditions that are all about values rather than money. So things for us is almost like NORAD's on, even now. With NORAD is on the laptop or the telly, crossing the world with it, delivering presents while we're doing the veg on Christmas Eve.
So going back to old traditional stuff.
To old traditional stuff.
Putting the mince pies out.
Doing all the nice things and just having the time. And turn your phones off. Give your phones a rest. Be present in the moment. Don't try and be all of the things.
Yeah.
Because our kids won't remember the piles of presents. They will remember memories. They will remember the one thing that they like. I'm just think now, even to this day, I remember standing at the top of the stairs and seeing 3 bikes lined up at the bottom of the stairs. That's like magic. I couldn't tell you anything about when it was, what else happened at Christmas, but that's the memory. So you don't need to spend a fortune to create the memories.
And you don't need matching pajamas unless you really want to. That could be a family tradition.
You could get Greg's ones, couldn't you?
You could get Subway
your Greg ones. And it's not all about booze. No. It's not all about the booze.
And that sounds, there might be people listening to that going, what do you mean? It's time to... And again, that's become a tradition.
Yeah.
However, it's great in the moment, but it's not the next day or the weeks after. So it's like, you don't need the drink to have a good time.
You don't need to over-excess. About balance, isn't it?
To some people, but you really don't. It is about balance, and it's like enjoy it, but also be able to get up the next day and go and see other members of your family, or rest or feel good.
I think that's the other thing. Get out in some fresh air, because you can get cabin fever around Christmas. And also what happens over Christmas is we fall off our well-being wagon.
Massively.
We go, because it falls out of the norm, it falls out of routine, our self-care support, our regime goes out the window. So if you do have meditation as part of your self-care routine, keep it going, make time for it. Keep drinking your 2 litres of water a day in between everything else that you're doing. Keep taking your supplements. Keep making sure you're using your mindfulness techniques. Keep making some time for you.
And spending time with people that you want to spend time with, because that is another thing actually that happens at Christmas. You feel like you're forced to go and visit so many people, and how much time and energy is that taken from you? So surround yourself with people that you want to be with, that light you up as well.
Boundaries.
Yeah. 100%.
We set our boundaries really early on as a family of 4. We used to say we're not going anywhere on Christmas Day, because I didn't get when the kids are so excited. They've got the run up for Christmas. We've got nativities going on. We've got school plays. We've got Christmas parties. And then they go for Christmas. And then they're so excited about Father Christmas coming, or whatever your beliefs are. And then you go, right, get dressed, kids. We're going out for dinner. And they go, I just want to play with my toys. So we never did any of that. We literally stayed at home. Very rarely got dressed on Christmas Day. So the routine was to get up, get dressed into clean pajamas.
Yeah.
And then carry on playing all day. So the extended family know that was our routine.
And that works for, that works for
us.
you.
Yeah. So it is changing now, obviously, but again, just keep looking after yourself.
Just
and
be
checking
intentional
in with
with who you're spending your time with, and be intentional about your gifts, because the gifts might end up in the bin or back into the charity shop. And we hope that you do have an absolutely beautiful Christmas and a really healthy and wealthy new year.
Yeah, we do. 2024 is going to be belting.
I know.
There's so many people that have had challenge in 2023.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for the lessons, but it's time to move on.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this around Christmas time, Merry Christmas, and make sure that you enjoy it with what you want to do.
Yeah, with what you want to do. Not what everybody else wants to do, with what you want to do. So it's ta-ra from me.
And love and light from me.